Your legs weaken. First, eat these 3 foods to strengthen them. Fast. Dr. Barbara O'Neill. It is a profound, often unsettling truth, a biological inevitability that many people overlook until its consequences are upon them. Your legs, those foundational pillars of your mobility and independence, are inherently designed to falter and decline long before the intricate tapestry of your memory begins to unravel, before the once sharp clarity of your eyesight progressively dims, and certainly before the rich symphony of sounds in your world slowly fades into a muffled silence. This is not a grim forecast, a pessimistic prophecy delivered from a crystal ball. Rather, it is a stark, undeniable reality rooted deeply in the mechanisms of human biology itself. The scientific term for this pervasive, yet largely unrecognized phenomenon is sarcopenia, a silently progressing disease characterized by the relentless and often unnoticed loss of muscle mass, strength, and function. Its insidious onset begins the very instant you cease to pay diligent, conscious attention to the well-being and demands of your body. Yet, within the often sterile confines of a conventional medical clinic, there exists a critical piece of information that they typically will not impart to you. The genuine, profound solution to this creeping physical degradation is not to be found neatly packaged within the confines of a prescription pill bottle, nor is it intricately buried within the extravagant claims of some overpriced, heavily marketed dietary supplement, nor does it perpetually hide behind the intimidating, often exclusive membership card to a high-end gym. On the contrary, the authentic remedy is quietly reposing within the unassuming sanctuary of your very own kitchen, patiently awaiting your discerning recognition and dedicated application. A powerful trio of readily available, simple foods possesses the remarkable capacity to fundamentally transform the health, strength, and vitality of your legs. And it is crucial to grasp that the last of these 3 foods is, without question, the most extraordinarily potent. Not the initial one you learn about, nor the second, but the final revelation in this nutritional sequence holds the undisputed key to unlocking a complete revitalization. Once you fully comprehend the intricate biological rationale behind this specific sequence, and the unparalleled power of these foods, your perspective on the contents of your plate will be irrevocably altered, and you will never again view your meals in the same superficial way. Allow me to meticulously explain the underlying reasons why your legs are invariably the first part of your physical being to succumb to weakening. The pervasive, often inescapable reality of modern life dictates that you spend an exponentially greater amount of time seated at a desk, in a car, on a couch than your grandparents' generation ever did, whose lives were intrinsically woven with far more physical activity and manual labor. Simultaneously, the intricate ballet of hormones that once diligently worked to maintain the firmness, strength, and resilience of your muscles begins its inexorable withdrawal and abandonment once you cross the threshold of 50 years of age. Testosterone levels, vital for muscle synthesis and energy, experience a significant drop. Estrogen levels, critical for women's bone and muscle health, undergo disruptive shifts. Growth hormone, the fundamental orchestrator of cellular repair and regeneration, gradually fades into a mere echo of its former potency, and your legs, which house the largest, most demanding muscle groups in your entire body, are consequently the very first to acutely register and suffer the profound impact of this accumulating loss. You begin to notice these subtle yet alarming changes when the once effortless act of climbing a flight of stairs transforms from an unconscious, fluid reflex into a conscious, strenuous negotiation with your own body. Your legs start to feel inexplicably heavy, as though invisible. Leaden weights have been clandestinely strapped to your ankles, burdening every step. Your natural walking pace involuntarily decelerates, and your balance, once unwavering, begins to subtly waver and wobble, introducing an uncomfortable sense of instability. Eventually, you find yourself actively avoiding stairs altogether, not merely out of inconvenience, but because the primal fear of an embarrassing or injurious fall becomes far more palpable and real than any abstract abstract anxiety about the process of aging itself. This distressing deterioration is not, emphatically not, a reflection of a perceived weakness of character or a lack of personal resolve. Instead, it is the insidious, cumulative outcome of compromised circulation, widespread and silent systemic inflammation, and a profound, often unrecognized deficiency in vital nutrients, all conspiring in a destructive alliance to systematically rob you of your cherished independence. And with the gradual erosion of physical independence, a significant part of one's inherent dignity inevitably departs as well. Consider the daily reality. Every single morning, you awaken to find your legs feeling unyieldingly stiff, as if they have been held rigid throughout the night. You consciously swing them out of bed, only to discover that they refuse to respond with the accustomed agility and responsiveness they once possessed. You stand tentatively, patiently, waiting for them to wake up, for that familiar sensation of solid support to return. As you make your laborious journey to the bathroom, you are acutely aware of an omnipresent heaviness permeating your lower limbs. By the time afternoon arrives, a persistent, dull ache settles into your knees, a constant companion. By evening, your calves become noticeably tight and constricted. And then, at night, the truly agonizing experience begins. Violent, involuntary cramps rip through your muscles, jolting you abruptly from sleep. You instinctively grab your leg, pressing firmly into the epicenter of the searing pain, and a chilling question echoes in your mind. Is this truly what life has become now? Is this my permanent reality? But it is imperative to understand that this debilitating trajectory does not have to be your predetermined fate. Your magnificent body is not inherently broken. It is, more accurately, profoundly starving. And what it desperately craves is not overtly complicated, but rather exquisitely specific. It is highly probable that you have already exhausted numerous avenues in your search for relief. You may have purchased countless pills from the local pharmacy, swallowed various vitamins dutifully recommended by your physician, and perhaps even attempted those energetic exercise routines advertised on television, only to find that nothing provided lasting relief. Or perhaps, fleetingly, something seemed to work for a mere week, offering a glimmer of hope, before abruptly ceasing its efficacy. You might have felt a temporary improvement, a slight alleviation, only for the debilitating heaviness to return with renewed vengeance. The agonizing cramps inevitably made their unwelcome comeback. The pervasive weakness settled back in, more entrenched than before. And in the face of these repeated disappointments, you began to internalize the belief that this is simply an unavoidable consequence of aging, an inescapable burden that accompanies getting older. You started to concede that your body is irreversibly giving up, and that tragically, there is absolutely nothing you can genuinely do to stem the tide of decline. But this deeply ingrained belief is, unequivocally, a lie. Your body is not surrendering. On the contrary, your body is patiently, expectantly waiting for the precise and correct fuel it needs to thrive. Food, in its most fundamental essence, is far more than mere caloric fuel. It is a sophisticated biological messenger. Every single bite you ingest transmits intricate instructions to the countless cells within your body, dictating whether they are to engage in the processes of building or breaking down, healing or decaying. The strategic application of the right nutrition possesses the astonishing capacity to not only halt, but actively reverse the perceived decline, to reawaken physiological functions that you had mournfully assumed were irrevocably lost forever. We are now going to embark on a detailed exploration of 3 specific foods, commencing with the most ostensibly simple among them, yet consciously reserving the most profoundly powerful one for the very end of our discussion. This deliberate sequence is critical because once you fully grasp the transformative power of that final food, every preceding piece of information will seamlessly fall into place, making perfect intuitive sense. This discussion is emphatically not about the simplistic act of merely eating more. Rather, it is about the deliberate, informed act of eating right. And the specific order in which these foods are introduced into your system matters far more profoundly than you might initially conceive. Each of these 3 remarkable foods plays a distinct, integral role in this restorative process. Each one meticulously prepares your body's complex internal environment for the optimal reception and utilization of the next. And the final food, as emphasized, serves as the ultimate catalyst, unlocking the full spectrum of benefits. The commencement of the smallest yet most foundational solution to the overwhelming problem of muscular decline begins with something so deceptively simple you can effortlessly hold it in the palm of one hand: pumpkin seeds. If your legs are frequently afflicted by nocturnal cramps that tear through your sleep, if your calves involuntarily twitch and spasm when you attempt to find restful slumber, or if your muscles persistently feel tight and constricted even during periods of complete rest, then your body is unequivocally issuing a desperate, urgent plea for magnesium. A staggering majority of individuals over the age of 60 are unwittingly navigating their daily lives in a state of chronic magnesium deficiency, entirely unaware of this critical physiological imbalance. And it is your legs, by virtue of housing the largest and most metabolically active muscles in your body, that bear the disproportionate brunt of this deficiency. Every single muscular contraction, every deliberate step you take, every moment you spend standing upright, each of these actions fundamentally relies on an adequate supply of magnesium to precisely regulate the delicate balance of calcium and potassium within your muscle cells. Without a sufficient presence of magnesium, these vital electrochemical signals become scrambled and confused. Consequently, your muscles involuntarily lock up, refuse to relax, and cease to function harmoniously. The direct result of this magnesium deficit manifests as excruciating cramps that violently tear through your calves in the dead of night, jolting you awake, gasping in pain, instinctively grabbing at your leg, and agonizingly wondering what grievous error you could have possibly committed. Yet, you have done nothing inherently wrong. Your body is simply attempting to operate on an empty physiological tank. Magnesium is an extraordinary mineral, intricately involved in over 300 vital biochemical reactions that underpin the very functioning of your body. It facilitates seamless communication between your nerves and your muscles, ensuring smooth, coordinated movement. It plays a critical role in maintaining the rhythmic, consistent beating of your heart. It is indispensable for preserving the robust strength and density of your bones. However, when your magnesium reserves are depleted, your legs are consistently the first to loudly signal distress. They cramp with debilitating intensity. They twitch with uncontrollable spasms. They feel perpetually restless, driving you to an uncomfortable state where you simply cannot sit still, cannot find repose, and consequently cannot achieve restorative sleep. The relentless exhaustion then compounds day after day because your overworked muscles are never granted the crucial opportunity to properly recover and repair themselves. Pumpkin seeds stand out as one of nature's most abundant and accessible sources of magnesium. Merely a single generous handful of these nutrient-dense seeds can provide you with nearly half of the recommended daily intake of this indispensable mineral. But magnesium's remarkable benefits extend far beyond merely alleviating muscle cramps. It possesses the extraordinary ability to relax and dilate your blood vessels, a physiological marvel that translates directly into significantly improved blood flow to your extremities. This means your legs finally receive the abundant supply of oxygen they have been so desperately craving. Your feet, once perpetually cold and numb, begin to regain their warmth. Your toes start to tingle with the welcome sensation of renewed life and vitality. And here is a seldom discussed yet profoundly important aspect. Chronic stress depletes your body's magnesium reserves at an astonishingly accelerated rate, more rapidly than almost any other factor. Cortisol, the primary stress hormone, actively extracts magnesium from your cells and orchestrates its swift excretion from your body. Every heated argument, every restless, sleepless night, every persistent worry about financial burdens, health concerns, or family dilemmas, all of these stressors collectively drain your precious magnesium supply. Pumpkin seeds serve as a powerful restorative agent, replenishing precisely what the relentless pressures of stress aggressively steal from your system. They diligently refill the physiological tank that the demands of daily life constantly deplete. Furthermore, pumpkin seeds contain a beneficial compound called tryptophan, the very same amino acid found in turkey that is renowned for its sleep-inducing properties. Tryptophan is biochemically converted into serotonin, a neurotransmitter that promotes feelings of well-being, which subsequently transforms into melatonin, the hormone essential for regulating healthy sleep cycles. Melatonin, therefore, facilitates deep restorative sleep. It is during these profound stages of sleep that your muscles undergo their most critical processes of repair and recovery. Without adequate sleep, there can be no meaningful muscular recovery, and without effective recovery, there can be no true, sustained strength gain. It is a well-documented observation that a significant proportion of individuals over the age of 60 struggle with consistent quality sleep. They frequently awaken multiple times throughout the night, lie awake, staring at the ceiling, their minds racing with unbidden thoughts, their legs aching with persistent discomfort, only to feel more exhausted and drained in the morning than they did when they initially went to bed. This is not necessarily a primary diagnosis of insomnia. Rather, it is often a symptomatic manifestation of magnesium deficiency. Your entire nervous system is incapable of achieving a state of calm and relaxation without the crucial presence of magnesium. Your muscles are unable to truly relax and release tension. Your brain struggles to switch off and disengage from its ceaseless activity. Pumpkin seeds offer a natural, effective pathway to better sleep. And in turn, quality sleep is an indispensable catalyst for deep cellular healing. As if these multifaceted benefits were not already sufficient, pumpkin seeds are also exceptionally rich in zinc, a vital trace mineral that robustly supports healthy testosterone levels and maintains the vigilant integrity of your immune system. Low testosterone levels, particularly in men, are directly associated with weaker muscles, diminished energy levels, and significantly slower recovery times. Zinc is also instrumental in promoting efficient wound healing and facilitating protein synthesis, the fundamental process by which your muscles are built and repaired. Your muscles are, in essence, intricate structures composed of protein, and every single day they undergo a natural cycle of breakdown and meticulous rebuilding. Zinc ensures that this crucial rebuilding process occurs effectively and without hindrance. Without adequate zinc, your body struggles to repair the daily wear and tear inflicted upon its tissues. Your muscles visibly shrink, your skin loses its elasticity and begins to sag, and your hair noticeably thins. Zinc acts as a vital guardian, keeping your entire system intact and resilient. Pumpkin seeds further contribute to overall well-being by stabilizing blood sugar levels, thanks to their rich fiber content. This crucial effect ensures that your legs do not suddenly deplete their energy reserves midway through the day, preventing that unsettling, shaky, weak sensation that can often occur after lunch. You maintain a steady, sustained level of energy and strength throughout your waking hours. You do not require vast quantities of pumpkin seeds to reap these extensive benefits. A modest handful scattered over your morning oats, artfully tossed into a vibrant salad, smoothly blended into a nutritious smoothie, or lightly roasted with a mere pinch of salt as a wholesome snack is perfectly sufficient. They are remarkably affordable, effortlessly accessible, and widely available in virtually any grocery store or market. You do not need a physician's prescription, nor do you require a doctor's explicit approval to incorporate them into your diet. You simply need to commit to eating them. This, unequivocally, constitutes the fundamental foundation of muscular health. Your muscles intrinsically require essential minerals to effectively contract, to properly relax, and to perform their myriad functions. Without sufficient magnesium, every other supportive measure you undertake will ultimately prove futile. You could consume all the protein in the world, but if your muscles lack the magnesium required to contract and utilize that protein, it will remain inert and unused. You could ingest every vitamin available at the pharmacy, but without magnesium, your body simply cannot activate them to their full potential. This is the pivotal starting point, the bedrock upon which all other improvements are built. However, muscle cramps represent only one facet of the problem. What about the insidious inflammation that is silently burning through your muscle tissues right now, relentlessly eating away at your strength and vitality while you remain largely unaware of its destructive presence? You may have diligently restored your mineral balance, but what tangible good are these essential minerals if persistent, unchecked inflammation is actively destroying your delicate tissues? Inflammation is far more than just the temporary swelling that occurs after an acute injury. Chronic inflammation is akin to an unextinguishable fire, burning quietly and persistently within your body, never quite subsiding. It silently consumes your precious muscle mass, stiffens your joints, and renders every movement a source of discomfort or outright pain. The unsettling truth is that most individuals afflicted by chronic inflammation are entirely oblivious to its presence, mistakenly attributing their symptoms to the natural, unavoidable process of getting old. They incorrectly assume that persistent pain is a normal accompaniment to aging. But pain is not normal. Pain is an insistent signal, and that signal is unequivocally communicating that something internal is breaking down and deteriorating at a rate far exceeding its capacity for natural repair and rebuilding. From the vast, life-sustaining expanse of the sea emerges a formidable warrior against the relentless march of aging sardines. There is a silent internal war raging within the delicate tissues of your legs, and chronic inflammation is the insidious, ever-present enemy. It does not announce its destructive presence with blaring sirens or dramatic fanfare. Instead, it whispers. It manifests as a dull, persistent ache that never quite dissipates. It progressively stiffens your knees, rendering them less pliable and responsive. It imbues your calves with a restless, uneasy sensation. It burns with an unsettling intensity after you have walked for mere blocks. And with each passing day, it systematically destroys a little more vital muscle tissue, erodes a little more protective cartilage, and diminishes a little more of your inherent hope for lasting vitality. You awaken each morning feeling palpably stiffer than the day before. Your movements become noticeably slower and more labored. You experience more pervasive pain throughout your body, and once again, you fall into the trap of believing that this is simply an unalterable aspect of life. But this is not life. This is the relentless, destructive work of chronic inflammation. And chronic inflammation, contrary to popular belief, has a powerful antidote. Omega-3 fatty acids, particularly the eicosapentaenoic acid, EPA, and docosahexaenoic acid, DHA, found in abundant quantities in sardines, are not merely supplements. They are potent biological weapons. These extraordinary fatty acids possess the remarkable ability to directly switch off the specific genes that are responsible for initiating and perpetuating inflammatory responses. They do not merely mask or cover up the pain with superficial relief. They penetrate to the very source of the inflammation and effectively shut it down at a cellular level. They enter your cells, altering the destructive signals and instructing your body to cease its self-destructive internal attacks. Furthermore, a significant proportion of individuals over the age of 50 are also critically deficient in vitamin D. And without an adequate supply of vitamin D, your muscles are fundamentally unable to contract properly or efficiently. This deficiency manifests as a pervasive feeling of weakness, even when you are exerting your utmost effort. Your bones ache with a dull, persistent discomfort. Your mood plummets into a state of lethargy and sadness. You feel chronically tired even after what seems like a full night of sleep. Vitamin D is not solely responsible for bone health. It is, in fact, a powerful steroid hormone that exerts its influence on virtually every cell within your body. It meticulously regulates how your muscles utilize calcium, controls the precision with which your nerves transmit vital signals, and even profoundly impacts the robust functioning of your immune system and your overall mood. Chronically low vitamin D levels can leave you feeling sad, weak, and susceptible to illness. Sardines are one of the rare and exceptional foods that provide you with a potent combination of both beneficial omega-3s and essential vitamin D, all conveniently packaged within a single nutrient-dense source. And crucially, because you consume the tender bones of these small fish, you also acquire a rich supply of bioavailable calcium. This is real calcium, the kind your body readily recognizes and assimilates, not the synthetic inert dust often found in pharmaceutical pills. Calcium, derived from whole foods, comes synergistically paired with all the necessary cofactors, magnesium, phosphorus, vitamin K, that your body intrinsically requires to actually absorb and effectively utilize it, precisely as nature intended. Sardines also represent a complete protein source, providing all 9 essential amino acids that your muscles desperately need to repair themselves efficiently after the daily stresses and strains of physical activity. Leucine, isoleucine, and valine, specifically, are the indispensable building blocks of healthy muscle tissue. Without their adequate supply, your muscles will inevitably shrink, weaken, and progressively waste away. In such a deficient state, your body initiates a desperate process of breaking down its own muscle tissue to extract the amino acids it requires for the proper functioning of more vital organs. Consequently, your legs lose mass, your arms become noticeably thinner, and you begin to appear and feel increasingly frail. Unlike the consumption of red meat, which can, if overconsumed, potentially flood your system with acidity and inflammatory compounds, sardines offer profound healing benefits without adverse side effects. While excessive red meat intake can elevate uric acid levels, place undue stress on your kidneys, and trigger systemic inflammation, sardines perform the precise opposite function. They actively cool the inflammatory fire within your body. They nourish your muscles without imposing a burdensome load on your internal organs. But there's more to their remarkable power. Sardines play a pivotal role in regulating insulin sensitivity, a mechanism that keeps your blood sugar levels stable and ensures your energy remains consistent and sustained. Insulin resistance is a hidden yet pervasive cause of accelerated muscle loss. When your cells gradually lose their responsiveness to insulin, they are unable to absorb glucose effectively. Glucose, in essence, is cellular energy. Without this vital energy, your muscles cannot perform their functions. They cannot recover from exertion, and they inevitably waste away. Omega-3 fatty acids, abundant in sardines, demonstrably improve insulin sensitivity, helping your cells effectively open the door to allow energy to flow in. Sardines also contribute to lowering cortisol levels, which translates directly into reduced psychological stress and, critically, less muscle breakdown. Cortisol is a catabolic hormone, meaning it actively breaks down muscle tissue to release amino acids for energy. When cortisol levels are persistently elevated, your muscles will shrink, regardless of how much protein you consume. Omega-3s effectively bring cortisol levels down, providing a protective shield for your muscles against the damaging effects of your own stress. Furthermore, sardines robustly support the health and production of your sex hormones, which are inextricably linked to the maintenance of muscle mass and bone density. Both testosterone and estrogen naturally decline with age, and when they do, muscle tissue invariably begins to disappear. Omega-3s furnish the essential raw materials your body requires to synthesize these crucial hormones. They also reduce the activity of an enzyme that converts testosterone into estrogen, meaning men retain more of their vital muscle-building hormone. Women also derive significant benefits, as omega-3s help to balance estrogen levels and effectively reduce the uncomfortable symptoms associated with menopause. If your dietary choices include salmon, you gain the additional advantage of astaxanthin, a powerful red pigment that actively combats oxidative stress within your mitochondria. The microscopic power plants housed within every cell of your body. Mitochondria are responsible for producing ATP, the fundamental energy currency that fuels all cellular processes. When these vital mitochondria are compromised or damaged by oxidative stress, they produce significantly less energy. This cellular energy deficit manifests as a pervasive feeling of tiredness, a heavy sensation in your muscles, and a disconcerting mental fogginess Astaxanthin acts as a formidable protector for your mitochondria, safeguarding their ability to continuously produce the energy your body desperately needs. Your type 1 muscle fibers, those specifically designed for endurance activities, are utterly dependent on a steady supply of oxygen to function optimally. These are the tireless fibers that enable you to stand, walk, and move throughout the entire day. Without sufficient oxygen, they simply shut down. Sardines contribute directly to the delivery of this vital oxygen by reducing inflammation within your blood vessels and significantly improving overall circulation. This makes walking feel easier, renders stairs far less daunting, and transforms standing from an exhausting ordeal into a more manageable act. You can incorporate sardines into your diet in various ways: fresh, canned in good quality olive oil, or lightly grilled with aromatic herbs and a squeeze of fresh lemon. Consuming them 3 times a week is generally sufficient to begin experiencing a noticeable difference in your physical well-being. Some individuals express concern regarding mercury content in fish. However, sardines are small, short-lived fish, meaning they do not live long enough to accumulate harmful levels of mercury, unlike larger predatory fish such as tuna or swordfish. They are, in fact, one of the safest and most sustainable fish choices available. They reproduce rapidly, and consuming them does not negatively impact ocean ecosystems. Moreover, they are remarkably affordable. A single can of sardines often costs less than a cup of coffee. To summarize, pumpkin seeds effectively restore essential minerals, and fish, specifically sardines, actively combat inflammation. But there remains one crucial missing piece of the puzzle. Even if your muscles are theoretically supplied with everything they need, even if systemic inflammation is meticulously brought under control, none of these efforts will truly matter if the critical delivery system is compromised. How can vital nutrients possibly reach your legs if the very roads upon which they travel are severely blocked or obstructed? You have diligently halted the destructive processes, you have successfully calmed the pervasive inflammation, and you have assiduously nourished your body with an abundance of essential nutrients. Yet, one fundamental problem persists. If your blood is incapable of efficiently delivering these crucial nutrients to their intended destinations, your legs will simply never receive them. And this is precisely why the final food in this powerful trinity is, without exaggeration, the most critically important of all. Every beneficial discussion we have engaged in, every dietary modification considered, means absolutely nothing if your blood cannot effectively transport these vital components. If there is but one food capable of awakening seemingly dying legs and restoring their vitality, this is unequivocally it: beets, a humble root vegetable that courageously grows deep within the earth, rich in its vibrant, earthy color and infinitely richer in its transformative power. If your legs consistently feel heavy, cold, perpetually tired, or numb, if they move with a sluggishness that belies the eager commands of your mind, the root of the problem lies squarely in compromised circulation. Poor circulation is the silent saboteur, an insidious force that undermines all efforts. It is irrelevant how much protein you conscientiously consume, how many vitamins you dutifully swallow, or how much magnesium you meticulously restore. If your blood is incapable of effectively delivering these life-sustaining compounds, your legs will simply never receive their necessary nourishment. With advancing age, your arteries, those vital highways of your circulatory system, inevitably begin to narrow. Plaque, a sticky mixture of fat and cholesterol, gradually builds up on their inner walls. Cholesterol adheres, and calcium hardens these deposits, causing the once smooth elastic vessels to become rigid and constricted. Consequently, blood flow decelerates to a mere trickle. Your legs, being the farthest points from your heart, are predictably the first to suffer the devastating consequences of this compromised circulation. They receive less oxygen, less vital glucose, and less of every essential nutrient, and they regrettably begin to deteriorate from the bottom up. Beets contain an extraordinary concentration of dietary nitrates. When you consume them, your body embarks on a remarkable biochemical conversion process, transforming these natural nitrates into nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is a veritable miracle molecule, so profoundly significant to human physiology that the scientists who pioneered the discovery of its multifaceted role in the body were deservedly awarded the Nobel Prize. Its primary function is to relax and dilate your blood vessels, effectively opening them up and allowing a robust, unimpeded flow of blood to areas that may have been stubbornly blocked or constricted for years. Visualize your blood vessels as intricate highways. When these highways are narrow, stiff, and riddled with blockages, traffic inevitably backs up. Oxygen cannot effectively permeate the tissues. Essential amino acids become trapped in a relentless jam. Glucose languishes at a perpetual red light. Vitamins and minerals remain gridlocked at the entrance ramps. Your leg muscles, paradoxically, find themselves starving amidst a metaphorical abundance of nutrients. Beets act as a powerful catalyst, effectively widening these critical highways. They smooth out the rough, obstructed roads. Suddenly, everything flows freely and unhindered. Your muscles are amply supplied with life-giving oxygen. They receive the indispensable building blocks required for diligent repair. They are flooded with revitalizing energy, and you unequivocally feel this profound difference. You experience a newfound lightness in your steps, a sensation of increased speed, and a surge of tangible strength. Clinical studies have demonstrably shown that individuals suffering from peripheral artery disease, a debilitating condition characterized by dangerously narrowed leg arteries, can walk significantly farther and for longer durations after consistently consuming beet juice. Their pain levels dramatically decrease, their agonizing cramping ceases, and their overall balance measurably improves. Their mitochondria, the tireless engines within every cell, initiate the production of more ATP, meaning more intrinsic energy. More ATP translates into easier, more effortless steps, smoother and more fluid movements, and a remarkable reduction in exhaustion after merely standing for a brief 10 minutes. Beets further enhance exercise efficiency. Your muscles become adept at utilizing oxygen more effectively, enabling you to accomplish more with considerably less perceived effort. Professional athletes, including marathon runners, cyclists, and swimmers, routinely incorporate beet juice into their pre-competition routines for this precise physiological advantage. However, you do not need to aspire to run a marathon to benefit. You simply need to possess the ability to walk to your mailbox without feeling as though you have just summited a treacherous mountain peak. Beets also contain betalains, the vibrant red and purple pigments that bestow upon them their distinctive, rich color. Betalains are potent anti-inflammatory compounds that specifically target inflamed muscle and joint tissues. They significantly reduce post-exertion soreness, accelerate recovery times, and work synergistically with omega-3s to actively extinguish the smoldering fire of inflammation within your legs. And because a healthy circulatory system profoundly impacts every single system in your body, improved blood flow also robustly supports optimal hormone function. Testosterone and estrogen, for example, require robust vascular health to function correctly and efficiently. Your brain relies on unimpeded circulation to think with clarity and precision. Your heart requires efficient circulation to pump blood effectively. Your kidneys depend on robust circulation to filter waste products efficiently. But it is your legs, being the farthest anatomical points from your heart, that suffer the most severe consequences when circulation begins to fail. Beets decisively rectify this issue, addressing it at its fundamental root. This is not a fleeting, temporary boost, akin to the transient effects of caffeine. Caffeine, in fact, constricts blood vessels after its initial rush, providing perceived energy by squeezing your arteries and forcing your heart to pump harder. Beets, by contrast, perform the precise opposite function. They relax everything within your circulatory system. This represents a true biological recalibration. Your body intuitively remembers how to efficiently deliver nutrients once again. Natural nitric oxide production declines progressively with age. By the time you reach 60, you are producing only half of the nitric oxide you did at 20. By 70, even less. Your blood vessels, stripped of this vital signaling molecule, gradually forget how to relax. They remain unnaturally tight and stiff. Beets diligently restore what the relentless passage of time has gradually diminished. They provide your body with the essential raw materials required to synthesize nitric oxide anew, and the positive effects are remarkably long-lasting. A single serving of beets can significantly improve circulation for up to 12 hours. Imagine waking up and consuming beet juice. By the time you embark on an evening stroll, your legs will still be benefiting from enhanced blood flow. Beets can be consumed in various delicious ways: raw, grated into a fresh salad with a drizzle of olive oil and lemon, roasted in the oven with olive oil and a pinch of sea salt until tender and sweet, juiced in the morning on an empty stomach for maximum absorption, or you can even purchase powdered beetroot and mix it into water or smoothies. Some individuals express reservations about the taste. Raw beets possess an earthy flavor. Roasted beets are wonderfully sweet. Beet juice is often described as strong and thick, but its taste can be easily mellowed by mixing it with apple or carrot juice. Adding fresh ginger can impart warmth, while a squeeze of lemon enhances its brightness. The core objective is not necessarily to savor it like a decadent dessert. The primary goal is to provide your body with precisely what it profoundly needs. It is highly beneficial to pair beets with a source of vitamin C, such as lemon or oranges, because vitamin C actively aids your body in absorbing and converting nitrates more efficiently into nitric oxide. It also acts as a vital protective agent, preventing nitric oxide from breaking down too quickly. Vitamin C effectively serves as a bodyguard for nitric oxide, keeping it active and functional for longer so it can perform its essential duties. This intricate, synergistic relationship is precisely why we intentionally saved beets for the culminating revelation. Without an effective delivery system, nothing else, no matter how potent, can adequately reach your legs. Pumpkin seeds can diligently restore all the magnesium in the world. Sardines can valiantly fight all the inflammation raging within your body. But if your blood vessels are too narrow, too stiff, or too obstructed to efficiently transport those crucial nutrients to your eager muscles, then, tragically, nothing will truly change. You could meticulously fill a delivery truck with an abundance of vital supplies, but if the very road leading to the destination is blocked or impassable, those essential supplies will, regrettably, never arrive. Beets are precisely that indispensable delivery system. They effectively clear the road, they open the gates. Circulation, in essence, is everything. It represents the critical difference between a muscle that is capable of efficient repair and regeneration and a muscle that progressively atrophies and dies. It is the profound distinction between confidently striding through life with unwavering assurance and cautiously shuffling with debilitating fear. It is the fundamental divide between cherished independence and unwanted dependence. Now, with this comprehensive understanding, you can fully grasp why we presented these solutions in this precise order. This sequence is not arbitrary or random. It is a meticulously crafted strategy. It is an approach that meticulously respects and harmonizes with the intricate biological functioning of your own body. Pumpkin seeds diligently prepare your muscles by effectively restoring crucial magnesium levels, calming your overactive nerves, and decisively stopping the agonizing cramps that mercilessly steal your restorative sleep. Consequently, your muscles can finally relax properly. They can contract with optimal efficiency. They can engage in essential nightly recovery instead of spasming in debilitating pain. Sardines then actively protect your muscles by valiantly fighting systemic inflammation, nourishing your vital hormones, and supplying your cells with the indispensable building blocks they require for comprehensive repair. The destructive force of inflammation ceases its relentless consumption of your precious tissue. Your immune system achieves a state of calm and balance. Your muscles, instead of relentlessly breaking down, begin the vital process of robust rebuilding. Finally, beets powerfully deliver everything by effectively opening and dilating your blood vessels, flooding your legs with life-giving oxygen, and restoring the profound flow of vital energy. Suddenly, all the crucial nutrients you have diligently been consuming can genuinely reach their intended destination in your legs. The magnesium arrives, the amino acids arrive, the oxygen arrives, and in a miraculous transformation, your legs awaken. All three of these incredible foods work synergistically as a powerful team, but it is critical to reiterate that without optimal circulation, the foundational benefits of the first two simply cannot reach the areas where they are most desperately needed. You could faithfully consume pumpkin seeds every single day, but if your arteries are obstructed, the magnesium will regrettably never reach your calves. It will merely circulate harmlessly in your bloodstream before being flushed out. You could eat sardines with every meal, but if your blood flow is weak and compromised, the beneficial omega-3s will remain in your bloodstream, never effectively entering your muscle cells. They will not get the opportunity to switch off inflammatory genes. They will not get to repair the damage. Therefore, the hierarchy is clear: foundation, minerals, protection, anti-inflammation, protein, and delivery, circulation. This is the correct order, and this sequential approach works with unparalleled efficacy because it meticulously respects and aligns with how your body fundamentally functions. It reveres biology. It works harmoniously with your body's innate wisdom rather than attempting to fight against it. You do not require excessive complexity. You do not need an expensive gym membership or a kitchen shelf laden with obscure powders bearing unpronounceable names. You do not need to meticulously count calories, painstakingly track macros, or obsessively weigh every gram of food on a digital scale. You do not need to adhere to some convoluted, restrictive diet plan formulated by an anonymous expert who has never truly met you or understood your unique needs. What you profoundly need is intention. You need to approach eating with a clear purpose, not merely to satiate an immediate hunger. Begin with the seeds, incorporate the fish, but critically, never, ever skip the beets. Make these three foods an integral, non-negotiable part of your daily rhythm. A small handful of pumpkin seeds sprinkled on your morning breakfast. Sardines 2 or 3 times a week for lunch or dinner. Beets 3 times a week, whether consumed fresh, juiced, or roasted. You will unequivocally feel the profound difference within as little as 2 weeks. Your legs will feel noticeably lighter when you stand. The thought of climbing stairs will no longer fill you with debilitating terror. Standing for extended periods will cease to drain your precious energy. The simple act of walking will no longer feel like a tiresome punishment. You will move with significantly less pain and a renewed surge of confidence. This transformative journey is not about striving for unattainable perfection. It is, more realistically and importantly, about consistent, tangible progress. You are not obligated to consume these specific foods every single day without fail. You do not have to precisely measure portions or slavishly adhere to a rigid, unforgiving plan. Life, with its inherent unpredictability, happens. Some days you will forget. Some days you will be genuinely too busy. Some days you simply will not feel inclined. And that, profoundly, is perfectly acceptable. Your success hinges not on flawless adherence, but on unwavering consistency. More days than not, more weeks than not, your magnificent body will respond with gratitude and renewed vigor. It has patiently been waiting for this. It has, in its cellular language, been begging for this precise nourishment. And when you finally provide it with what it so desperately needs, it will unfailingly reward you with a bounty of rediscovered strength, an abundance of vibrant energy, and the glorious freedom of uninhibited movement. You are not powerless. On the contrary, your body possesses an incredible capacity to respond when you furnish it with the fundamental raw materials it has been yearning for. It is inherently designed to heal. It is intricately designed to rebuild. It is magnificently designed to adapt and thrive, but it cannot accomplish any of these miraculous feats without the correct raw materials. You, and you alone, are the conscious custodian who decides what materials you choose to provide it. Mobility, in its truest sense, is independence. Independence, in its most profound manifestation, is dignity, and dignity, without question, is everything. Your legs are far more than mere anatomical limbs. They are indispensable lifelines. They tirelessly carry you to the embrace of the people you cherish and love. They transport you to the sacred places that hold deep meaning and significance in your life. They empower you to live your life on your own terms, without the need to solicit permission from your children or your neighbors. They grant you the simple yet profound ability to gracefully get out of bed each morning without assistance. They allow you to prepare your own nourishing meals. They enable you to walk confidently to the door when a gentle knock announces a visitor. They permit you to stand with joyous participation at a wedding and dance freely if your heart desires. They allow you to kneel with solemn reverence at a grave and tenderly say your final goodbyes. Fundamentally, they allow you to live authentically as yourself, not perceived as a burden to others. Therefore, nourish them in the correct sequence. Foundation, protection, delivery. This is the profound blueprint for how you rise. One intentional meal at a time, one confident step at a time. Your legs have faithfully carried you this far through every single moment and experience of your precious life. Now, with this newfound understanding, it is time for you to carry them. Character count 21,398.